Let's go ahead and start with a fresh weapon right here, and we're going to set it up for, there's an option inside of the auto shoot. Let's go ahead and start with the weapon type. We'll change it to weapon Autofire. And this one, if you're following along, it's a really good idea. Just enjoy erasing the object, redoing the properties. It'll be good practice for you. Start helping you to understand where the properties are and get used to changing them. I'm going to turn the on the auto shoot. What I'm going to just do is say that on enable it's going to start, and then disable on the exit. For this one though, this example we're going to look at is the pause move on shoot. And basically what we're saying is that if it gets within this range, and then there's a line of sight and all these things, is that if it's within range and it sees the player, it's going to stop movement if it's moving, and it looks like it's going to try to hone in on you and then shoot. And then after that, if it needs to update, we'll say after a second it'll double check whether it needs to update and or start moving again. Alright, simple setup for it, but definitely a good effective one for adding a little motion and intelligence to the weapon system on it. We're going to take the trigger range. We're just going to go down only with it. So we're going to say if you're within here, and we'll go a little over to the side there. Alright. And then in order to have it going back and forth in terms of checking for the player, actually we'll go this way as well. In terms of checking for the player, we're going to have to go all the way down to the bottom, all the way to the right side of the list. So I'm just going to keep on clicking until we get all the way down here. So we have the option for that translate position. We're going to say unlimited. The arrow is currently pointing this way. We're just going to say the ping distance will be 20, which again this will be 2 tiles. So we'll say we're going to go from here out. Actually we'll say 10. That way it don't move all the way over. Alright. So it's just going to simply go back and forth. We'll set up a speed for start speed, max speed right here. Alright, so then after that point, if we go back to our options, just double check pause, move on, shoot should be checked. If it's enabled, then we'll go into our play mode. And at this point, when the player, so the weapon's going to go back and forth. It won't be shooting unless we get within its trigger range, it's going to shoot. So notice the moment it got in the trigger range, it stopped moving. Oops. So if I'm still in the trigger range, which it thinks I am, it's going to keep shooting this way. But I make sure I get to the other one. But if I am inside of it, I almost have to decrease the rate of fire. There, it goes so quick. There you go. So once it's out, it takes a second, it starts to move again. Alright, so very simple but effective to be able to have it play back and forth like that.